From Mr. Neil to Mr. Just Real. I recall being on your prayer line one morning and you were speaking on confrontation. I was so overwhelmed with conviction that writing you became an obligation. You encouraged us to be free and to release those things that had us in a mental prison. So here I am. It's a lot. I hope you got time to listen. I guess I'll start from when I was a child running around with a runny nose, putting everything in my mouth. I believe I was 3 years old. My mother wanted to go to the club, so she had my cousin to come over and babysit us. It was me and my brother who was 10, and my cousin who watched us was 15, sitting on the couch looking at movies on the TV. My cousin would go to the room, and in a few minutes he would call my brother. The door would close, and then it would be minutes before we saw each other. I wasn't sure what they were doing because I was too young, but my brother always came out crying. I said to myself, whatever it is, it can't be fun. It wasn't until later that I found out what was taking place. My cousin was taking his private part and putting it on my brother's face. My brother told our mother, but they decided to keep it in the family. No cops were called, and everybody seemed cool until unto me it started happening. As I look back, I blame my mother because she could have prevented it. But because she loved to party, she continued to let him babysit. One day when I was 12, I found my birth certificate. To my surprise, the man I called Daddy name was not on it. I asked around until I got the truth, which was very sad. I'm the product of a rape. My dad is my granddaddy, and my granddaddy is my dad. I started getting into trouble, stealing, vandalizing, and fighting. I knew no other way to express myself. I had a lot of rage inside of me. I started hanging with the thugs. They were chasing the girls who were fine and cute. This led to my first sexual experience in the back of a car with a prostitute. At the age of 17, I ended up going to juvenile doing time for burglary. That's when I came into contact with a dude named Chris, who introduced me to homosexuality. When I got out, I hid my desires, tried to focus on being better in life. I was 18. I figured it was time I started to do what was right. I joined this church in the community where all the youth went. They had fun nights and concerts. They always had youth events. I befriended a dude that was the assistant on the youth team. He was close to my age. He was 20. He was very compassionate and full of love. A lot that I didn't know he taught me. He called me his little bro. Everything was going good. Things seemed to be falling in place until I needed to make a call and had to use his phone one day. I had to be careful with it because the phone was cracked. I ended my call, then an app popped up on the screen called Jack. I was so curious, so I downloaded it when I got home, put in my information. From that moment, my life began to take a turn of its own. You see, this was a sex app that allowed you to meet people within close range. I didn't put my picture up, and I also used a fake name. I was so shocked to see how the app worked. I would turn it on even when I was in church. I just knew there wouldn't be many people on it in there. But I met most of my partners sitting 3 rows back in another chair. I wasn't open with it. I tried to keep it on the low. I knew I wanted to be a preacher, so I couldn't let it all show. I figured I would get married to cover up the desires that I had. Maybe if I get a wife, things will be better. I heard your story. I know you understand. So I found this girl who was so beautiful. We date and then we marry. I've told her many things, but I never told her of my sexuality. It's been 2 years and life is just what it is. I'm still holding on to my secret, keeping people out of my biz. That's where you come in. I'm listening to you preach on the line, and I'm overwhelmed by my sins. It's like I was standing within the mirror, being confronted from within. I didn't know who to tell. I really don't know what to do. So I'm making the steps to correct in my life, starting off by writing this confession to you.